So go ahead and join in. Chat. No one's allowed to chat.
I don't have the email. Oh, there it is.
Already have 13 people in there. Can they hear me? They can. Okay. We're just starting this up. I'm going to put us on mute and we'll be back to you in about 15 minutes. There is a Q&A listed here. If you click on Q&A and open it up, you can post a question. You will not be able to use the chat, just the Q&A.
Okay, folks, mute your, okay. I've got a couple of panelists here with me who are going to try to help answer questions along the way, because as you are typing them in, I'm not going to be able to answer while I'm talking. I'm not going to talk for very long, guys. Most of the stuff that you need to know, we already have posted out there on our website or on our Facebook page, or have links to it. I'm going to answer a few of the frequently asked questions for us, and then we're going to go and try to either answer the Q&A, either typing it in so everyone can see, or I'll read the questions and answer them live. The first question I got was masks, and or is there some type of dress code for masks? If you read in our Strong Start plan, I've got about 4 different masks sitting here in front of me. This one, you can get at Walmart or different places. The Hanes mask, this is an approved mask. All of our athletes are wearing these. Gators, this is an approved mask. This is just a simple painter's mask. It covers your entire nose and mouth. This is an approved mask. And then a face shield, such as this one, that wraps around, covers your entire face, is an approved mask. We have, each of our teachers have 2 of these, but they've got the option of wearing this and the under mask or this. So I've also been asked the questions, why masks for everyone, even though TEA is saying, hey, they're following the governor's orders, and that is just for people 9 and under. In that plan, and what we've heard from TEA, is they've changed the rules about what close contact is. So to keep our schools, children, and our staff safe, if they can't be separated by 6 feet, and when they're in common areas, masks will be worn at all times. We are getting some barricades built in the classroom. You've seen them on TV. They've got copies of them. We've got desk dividers, and we're going to strategically set up our desks to where we can keep our kids separated. So during the day, once we get all these in place, the kids are going to have the option of pulling down their mask if they want. For some of our teachers, guys, as you know, we have some medically fragile teachers out there. But as of right now, all of our teachers are coming back to school. So if a teacher says, I don't care if we have barriers in place, or, you know, you're underage, everyone has to wear a mask while they're in my classroom, the kids will have to comply with that, and they will have to wear a mask. So that's really the reason why, guys, because if you go on there and look, when it says you have a confirmed positive case, and it's in our Strong Start plan, it's in TEA Strong Start plan. Basically, if you have a strong or a confirmed lab positive case, and that teacher or that child was in proximity of anyone else for cumulatively 15 minutes, that means they could be 5 minutes in the morning, 5 or 6 minutes in the middle of the day, 5 or 6 minutes at the end of the day. If they were confirmed and they were within that 6 foot and they weren't both wearing PPEs, that is a confirmed contact, and everyone in that group has to quarantine. As small as Cuero is, guys, the next thing is if I shut down a class, I'm probably going to have to shut down a building. And if I have to shut down a building, I probably have to shut down the district, because that kid is brothers or sisters with another, has brothers or sisters on another campus. And then all the people they've contacted, and then bus riders. And then the next thing you know, it is, we go 3 or 4 days, we have a confirmed case, we have to shut down the whole school for 2 weeks. We come back, somebody gets tested over that 2 weeks. They don't get their results till we get back. And as soon as we get a result in, we have to say 2 days before that. So we're right back in the same boat. With this plan, we think we're being as safe as we possibly can to come back to school for the protection of our kids and our staff. And I understand some people still don't feel safe with it. That's why we're still going to offer the online option for y'all. We have already set up times for y'all to come up here and pick up devices if you need them. And if you need devices and you need hotspots, we've got that posted on our Facebook page and on our website. It's right on the front page. You can look and it says device pickup dates and times, and all that information is on there. Our Strong Start plan will be reposted probably tomorrow. One of the changes that's going to be in there is it's going to be all asynchronous learning, meaning we will have no live streaming classes. We will offer live streaming tutorials. We will offer face-to-face tutorials for people who are off-site if they feel comfortable coming up here when there's only a handful of people here. And our staff will have office hours and contact hours every day. So if your child is having an issue or the parent is having an issue with getting online or getting some of the coursework done, our staff will be available to reach out to you and answer specific questions in a live format, even though this will not be live instruction. This will be either a live class recorded and then posted later, or the teacher has the option of teaching the class after school when no one else is there and then putting it out there. This will all be done through our Google Classroom platform. And so all the work can be exchanged back and forth without paper having to be exchanged, all on the platform. Those choosing to do the online option will be required to log in every day. And from pre-K to 8, they will have to put in 4 hours daily of login. There is a clicker on there, and we see whenever someone logs in and all the classes they attend, they will have to do an exit ticket daily. Now for high school, it's a little different because they have credits. And also what makes it tough there is the fact that we still cannot offer every elective online because it's kind of hard to teach a kid welding or auto mechanics or plumbing and electrical or some of our other classes because they don't have the equipment at home to be able to participate in that class. So if your child was signed up for that and you choose the all online version, then they will have to pick an alternate class that we do offer. We've already put out the list of those classes, and that list may grow considering we are doing 100% asynchronous. So that's kind of where we are on there. As I've said, most of everything we are offering or all the plans we have, we're posting out there, guys, as soon as we get information. But understand, everything we're telling you, we are subject to change because last week, whenever we got the announcement from TEA that they were changing something in close contact, the entire state took a collective sigh because if it was the way they were saying it was, we couldn't have live face-to-face school, even though they're saying it's mandatory for us to attempt if we have parents who want face-to-face school. So we got some clarification on that. And like I said, they clarified what close contact is. We will have that in our book. Plus, we will have the local health department come in and do trace contacting if we do have a confirmed case. So with that being said, I'm going to go to the Q&A section and answer questions because like I said, most of the stuff we're talking about has already been answered out there on either the Strong Start plan or things we posted on the Facebook or web page. So guys, you can all see the Q&A because whenever we answer them, automatically it pops up. But I'm going to go down this list. And guys, I've devoted an hour for this group, and then I'm going to devote an hour for the next group to answer questions. If my child has dyslexia services and 504 foundations, will they be provided for distance learning in elementary? Absolutely. We will still provide every service you need. One of the things we're planning on doing for kids who need OT, PT, dyslexia services is we're going to utilize old CIS, and we're going to block off a wing where only that child and that teacher can access that point. So no one else will be going in and out of there but that kid, and we will clean that facility in between each session we have. Will lesson plans be available for parents for distance learning students? Yes, upon request, you can ask those, but everything will be posted on that Google platform as far as assignments daily, and then all the videos attached to the learning. And it will be your teacher on that videos. This isn't going to be like Edgenuity where there's some random person who Edgenuity has hired. This will be Cuero ISD people. And so if your kid or you as a parent need clarification about what they mean on something, you will have the opportunity to email or call. We're adding about 50 additional phone lines throughout the district as well. Every one of our teachers' classrooms now has a phone in it, but we're also adding phone lines so we have access to get phone calls in and out. So if you want to call during the day, you can't directly call to that classroom, but the switchboard can transfer you there. And they'll have those posted hours for when they can help. The question was asked, if I do online, will I have to pick? Yes, you have to pick new electives as they're not one of the ones offered. What is the time frame for online learning and what is the requirements? That's in our Strong Start plan that's going to come out, but I think I just said about that. You just have to log on for 4 hours anytime during the day and complete the exit tickets to get attendance credit for being here and school credit. Arrival. Everyone will be on duty every morning, and that's also covered in our Strong Start plan. When kids get here, it says you cannot get here any sooner than 7:30 in the morning. For those of you who have been walking up your kids at the elementary schools, that is no longer allowed. You will go through the drive-through, you will drop them off, and we will escort them in. When your kid gets in the building, if they want breakfast, they will go straight to their classroom and sit down, and breakfast will be delivered to their classroom. So they won't even go through the lunch lines for breakfast anymore. How are you planning to enforce and keep the mask on kids? If your kid cannot keep the mask on, we will send them home and their only option will be online learning. And that is per TEA guidance because, guys, like I said, we have to keep your kids safe. So if your kid refuses to keep a mask on, then they cannot stay at school because they are violating the safety rules. Now, they will have the option at the beginning of the next 6 weeks to come back, but they have to wear the mask if they're told to wear the mask. If a child or teacher tests positive but wore their mask at all times, are you still going to quarantine the class? If we are following all of our safety procedures, we have been told we don't have to unless the health department comes in and shuts us down. Guys, when we get a confirmed positive case, if your kid is anywhere near or would have had access to whoever is confirmed positive, we will send out a letter to everyone who was anywhere within proximity, and we will make you aware. Now, if it goes beyond that and we have to shut down because we cannot properly clean that classroom in time, then we will send out a message through School Dude, local radio stations, whatever we've got to do to make you aware, hey, we're shutting down because we have to do intensive deep cleaning. Someone asked the question about speech therapy. I already answered that. We're going to utilize the CIS building for speech therapy for the online people. Kids in sports. If you're going to attend or participate in any extracurricular activity at Cuero ISD, you must attend face-to-face. Lunch service for our children. Each cafeteria in school will have a different plan. As you know, high school will still have open lunch, but even though we have open lunch, we still are serving over 300 students every day, but our students go everywhere. We're going to quarantine them off to a certain section of the building, and they will have the option to access these extra tables we brought in, or they can eat outside if it's nice outside. Or, you know, some of them eat in the hallways and they can sit in the hallways and eat, but we will have all hands on deck at that time as well. And we will be saying, okay, even though it's lunchtime, you can pull your mask down. You still have to maintain social distancing. You can still talk to your friend from 6 foot away while you're eating lunch. For the young children, yes. If they're in common areas like the library, going to the computer lab, if we don't have the dividers up by then, they will have to wear their masks. We're going to work in some breakout sessions during the day too, guys, to where our kids, because we know, I mean, it's tough for us as adults to wear these masks all day long. We're going to have some breakout sessions where our kids can get up and we'll take them outside and let them go play for a little while and pull their masks off. Or that's why we've also got these dividers built in the classrooms to where if we can safely distance them and put them behind barriers, they'll be able to take their masks off. But when they arrive every day and they walk in this building, they've got to have a mask on. And when they walk out of this building every day, no matter the age level, they have to be wearing a mask entering or exiting the building. Dismissal will be very similar. But once again, for those kids whose parents like to walk up to the building and pick them up, that is not allowed. You will have to stay in the line and wait for your kid to be dismissed. What changed to make classes asynchronous? Part of the problem is as of right now, from our initial survey, we've got 250 to 400 kids who are parents who are requesting online learning. We cannot possibly film all of those. We offer 114 different classes at the high school. Part of the other problem is some of you parents have come to some of the Zoom meetings like our extracurriculars have had, and they've been hacked and inappropriate stuff has been posted in those live classes. And so if I've got a teacher trying to maintain classroom control of their classroom, plus monitor what's going on at a live class at the same time, I can't guarantee what your kid will be exposed to if they're in that online class, because we don't have, if it gets hacked, we cannot control that. Now with the synchronous or the asynchronous plan, that teacher, like I said, can record that at their leisure and still have the option to offer tutorials to your kid or do phone calls to help them out. Do they wear masks when playing sports? Yes. If you read the UIL guidelines, Coach Alvarez is fixing to post that about his Strong Start plan. We have face shields for all of our helmets that covers the complete face of the child up underneath the chin even. And then when they have them off, they will all have, like I said, one of these gaiters or Huck masks that when you take your helmet off, you've got to pull this up. And we're training our kids right now. We've been training them this summer about wearing your mask. What is the best recommended form of communication with school for parents? It's going to be, guys, where we have them have mandatory office hours. Anyone who has got an asynchronous class will have mandatory office hours. And that will be, like I said, during their conference period, and there will be some after school. Some of that after school, like I said, you'll have the option. We haven't got all that set up yet to maybe bring your kid up here for tutorials, and it will be an extremely small group. If you feel comfortable doing that, or it could be at that time, a teacher could monitor a live tutorial session to where she's working live with a small group of students, and live streaming. The school day is going to be 7:55, the normal bell ring time, to 3:30 every day. But like I said, as soon as your kid gets here in the morning, they will not be able to hang out. They will not be able to walk around. They will either be in a classroom or in a designated area to sit in the hall to where they're not up milling around. And like I said, every single staff member will have morning duty and afternoon duty to ensure at those times we're socially distancing and spacing. One of the other things we're going to do is like passing periods for the classes that pass. Everyone will be out in the hall monitoring, telling them, keep your mask up, stay 6 foot apart, get to your class, no mill around in the halls. Breakfast and lunch will still be free this year, and that is still an option for every single Cuero ISD kid, whether you're a qualifier or not. Question about ticket purchases. If we can only have 2 tickets, what do we do if we have 2 kids and myself to purchase tickets for? To make sure we got all of our participants, guys, and still had some general admission, we had to put the cap at 2 for tickets. With that being said, I understand I've got a family of 5. I can't guarantee my own family is going to get tickets to get in the game. So it's what we can do right now. And I understand some parents have, stepmom and stepdad, and then their extended family off of that. That is one of the reasons why when we're going to live stream these games, and we're not going to charge. So if you can't make it, we want you to have the opportunity to still be able to watch your kid participate. We just can't, because of what UIL is telling us for stadium capacity issues, we can't offer every tickets for everybody. I wish we could. The other question was asked along with season tickets about what about the people who've had season tickets for the last 50 years? We are not getting rid of your season tickets. You just can't get them this year. Whenever we go back to normal, we will still have the stadium map, and we will allow you to get your tickets back. No, all of high school campus is not open lunch. That's for sophomores through seniors. Freshmen still have to eat on campus. Will all grades enter through the same door or separate doors as it says in the Strong Start plan? As it says in the Strong Start plan, we're going to try to access multiple entrances to help out with that in the morning so we can safely stagger kids off the buses and into the building. For the car drop-off lines, as you know, guys, on our campuses, we've only got one way to go. And that's also why we're telling parents not to walk up. So we can let a group of kids walk up and we'll guide them into the building. And then we let the next group park and go. It's going to be a little slower, guys. Like I said, we can't start taking kids before 7:30. But as soon as we get them here, we're going to usher them into the building to a safe spot. The question about temperature checks, that's addressed in the Strong Start plan. Any changes to the dress and grooming standards? No. We did a little tweaking on the hair code, but same dress and grooming standards. The question was also asked about masks. Like I said, guys, is if you read the Strong Start plan, it says basically any mask that is covering the nose and mouth area completely, we consider a good mask. As long as it does not depict anything that is school inappropriate or vulgar in nature, they can wear the mask. It's the same rule we have for the jackets. Jackets or pullovers. Kids can basically wear any jacket or pullover they want as long as it doesn't depict anything that is school inappropriate. PE for elementary and recess. I know we have some kids who the parents are worried because they've got medical issues about attending PE. We can look for an alternate place for that kid to go during PE if they are a medically fragile kid and you don't, because there will be fewer restrictions in PE because they're going to be running around and it's not always safe for a kid to wear a mask. We're going to try to socially distance them and limit the number of classes that go in at the same time. But outside, as you know, I mean, it's pretty much as long as we can keep them safe and separated, they can take down their masks. Does online schooling affect class ranking? That is also another reason why in high school we are offering the full 8 periods and you've got to attend the full 8 periods. If not, yes, it will affect class ranking because they will be given the same grades. Every one of our teachers will be using the Google Classroom platform for all classes this year, whether they are live or asynchronous. So they will all get the same assignments through the same platform daily. Mask required for playing, practicing sports. Yes, when they can't separate or they can't cover their face. We have safety protocols for the bus. That is in the Strong Start plan as well. The question was asked about picking up kids after school. Does this mean kids can't walk? Yes, kids can walk and they can still ride their bikes, but they cannot arrive before 7:30. And when we exit at the end of the day, they have to walk. They have to get out of there. They can't stay and hang out. If you have a kid who's going to another campus to help pick up their sibling, they're welcome to wait off to the side if they're both walkers, and we'll have a designated spot where they can stand off to the side while they're waiting for their brother or sister to get out of school. Do we have to buy participant tickets for each sport? Yes, because every facility has a different capacity level. So whether it's junior high, JV, high school, you have to buy a different ticket. If your kid is online, no, they don't need shot records. Now, the question was asked, are boys allowed to wear braids or long hairs? We've always allowed them to wear braids. We do have a hair length in our dress code. As I said, the question was, will the teacher be able to see the kids on virtual learning? Like I said, the kids are going to see the teacher on a recorded video. When they do tutorials or they have sessions, the help sessions or the office hours, They can Zoom with that kid so the kid can see them live at that time, or they can talk to them on the phone, or they can respond just via email or a chat. How many students are we trying to limit per class? We are trying to limit what we can safely fit in that classroom and still maintain some social distancing, because not all classrooms we can. So we're going to put those panels up in there as well and still have that. School nurse. Kids will still have the access to the school nurse, and the school nurse is going to be heavily, the most heavily PPE'd person on that entire campus and in the entire district. So if 10 through 12 go off campus for lunch, how will that ensure safety health measures? It's the same thing as them coming to school every day. They're going to self-screen. And they will still have PPEs in place when they come back on campus. Kids with special needs, IEPs, BIPs, we will follow all those, whether they're on campus or off campus. Special ed has got all kinds of plans in place. One of the things with special ed, we've got two guys, when I talked about those, these are for all online and off-site students. If your kid has OT or PT services, we have individually boxed manipulatives for them to use for those services. So we don't have to worry about trying to clean up something between every kid who comes in there. We'll just be able to wipe down the major surfaces that get touched, and they'll have their own clean box of materials when they come. But yes, as I said earlier, we will access, for the people who want off-site learning, we will access CIS to provide their services above and beyond what they normally get here at school. Question is, when are high school schedules being released? That's on the Facebook page and on the website. And question again about buses and nursery. That's in the plan, and you can contact transportation on that. Cuero ISD school supply lists have been posted for a couple of months now. Go ahead and ask questions, guys. We still got 30 minutes. I'll answer. Like I said, this session is 100% for y'all. And if there's not a question, like I said, the question was asked, if a class or a whole building, how is that going to be handled? If we do get a whole class and it is verified that we did not follow the safety measures, we will have to shut down, and we will follow that plan to the T on what it says for how we handled a confirmed case, because we have to. Like I said, the safety and protection of your kids and our people is first and foremost our concern. And guys, understand, we can't control where these kids go when they're not here. We can't control who these kids are around. All we can handle is when we have them here on campus, and we're going to try to keep them as safe as we can. Every classroom is going to have hand sanitizer stations or wash stations. Every classroom is going to have Sandy wipes where they can wipe down anything. And a kid will always have the option anytime during the day to wash or clean their hands. How are they going to transport to sports events and still maintain social distancing? We will follow the rules that have been posted for us for that. Anytime you're on a bus, you have to be masked up the entire time you're on the bus. Even if you're socially distanced on a bus, you have to be 100% masked up, and we will ride with the windows down as per CDC regulations to keep fresh air flowing through there at all possible. A list of classes that are offered for Cuero High School. Reach out to your counselors. Counselors are up there every day. Email them, and they can tell you what's offered, or it's in the handbook. Students will still, the question was asked, will students still have a choice what they get for breakfast or lunch? We're going to limit that on the elementary some, but secondary students, yes, will still have the choice. They will still have choice over served. They will still get a choice of what they want. If a class or building is shut down with a student who were face-to-face, be able to get devices, yes. We are going to try to have enough devices to where if we do have to shut down, your kids will still get attendance for coming to school, because we will offer online learning for that time. Now, it may take us a day or two to get all of the devices out to everyone who needs them, but we will still offer online learning. And here's the thing about this too, guys, for your kid to still get attendance, say your kid just gets strep, which happens, or has a cold and has to be home for a time. If they're healthy enough to do it, they can go online on the learning platform, because like I said, it's the same thing your teachers are going to be offering in class, and they can still get attendance for doing asynchronous learning, even though they're face-to-face while they're at home. Now, if you decide, hey, I don't feel comfortable, anytime you start live at any time, you can send your kid or ask your kid to go home and ask for a device and let them go asynchronous. But if you do that, as per our plan states, they have to wait until the start of the next 6 weeks to come in. And that's for us to ensure those class sizes are still safe and we can still safely social distance in that classroom. If you shut down, does that include no sports during shutdown? If we have to shut down a campus, we're probably gonna have to shut down all extracurriculars, sports, band, everything. How do I feel personally about this plan for our kids? And am I confident? I have 3 kids that attend Cuero ISD. 2 of them have medical conditions that they don't need to get the COVID. I feel confident with them wearing a mask all day and their teacher wearing a mask all day, or the things we have in place, that I'm making them as safe as I can. But like I said, there are no guarantees, guys. We're going to make them 100% safe as we can, but I assure you, like I said earlier, I'm not one of these people who believes this is a hoax or a government scheme. I've known too many people get sick. And so we are going to try to protect these kids the best we can, because I preach to our teachers and I truly believe that these are our kids. And so we need to love them and take care of them like they're our kids. And so we're going to do everything we can to keep them as safe as possible. And trust me, I've told our teachers, if I see you not following safety protocol, you will be reprimanded. The question was asked about speech and OT. It's going to be the same protocols as if they're offline. Yes, they're still in a separate room. We're still going to have separate boxes for them for their stuff. Breakfast in the classroom for elementary, because of our spacing limits, we will have a rotation schedule at the cafeterias for lunch, to where kids can come in and out. Some days they will have to eat in their classroom. Some days they will eat in the cafeteria. And once again, they will be highly monitored and everything will be covered. With the limited availability of hand sanitizer and Clorox wipes are no longer a thing. We have got a company that sells us crash buckets, to where we put our own cleaning fluid and they have disposable wipes that come in there, and it is approved to kill the COVID that we will use in the classroom. And hand sanitizer you can get everywhere now. Hand sanitizer is not limited supplies. State of Texas sent us 206 gallons of hand sanitizer. We will have multiple hand sanitizer pumps and cleaning stations in every classroom. We've got that one covered. We also have extra PPEs. So your child will be required to provide their own PPEs on a daily basis, but hey, you're worried because your kid's allergies are acting up and they sneeze 45 times in a day. Well, if they get it dirty and they don't have an extra mask, we're going to have some extras for them, but we don't have enough to provide every day. But we will have some extras if your kid needs one. I mean, it accidentally slips off their face and falls in a mud puddle. We'll make sure they're covered up during the day. Every student currently has, the question was asked about, is every student given a Cuero ISD email address? Every student has a Cuero ISD email address. That's part of our login systems. Cleaning schools and restrooms. Not only do we have foggers, but we're going to put extra janitors on during the day to wipe down any and everything that is in a highly touched area. And like I said, in the classroom, kids will stay mainly in their classroom all day, but the kids who do rotate class, they will be taught starting day one. When you walk into a class, you go to that crash bucket, you pick up a clean, brand new wipe, you wipe down your area, and then you throw it in the trash. And they will start that every day. How are we socially distancing band, kids, trotters in the stands with 50% capacity at football games? That is why we have even fewer limited tickets, because the band and trotters are going to take up an entire section of our stands and cut out all those tickets so they can safely socially distance. Yes, I brought up the thing that a parent asked, say a kid goes home sick for something that's not COVID related and they're still doing their work online, can they come back? Yes, with a doctor's note, and if they've already established that they are a face-to-face kid. Can kids bring lunchbox at Hunt? They can bring a lunchbox on any campus. We are not accepting outside food this year, just because, and that's one of the other things too, guys, if you read in our plan, we are having very limited access from anyone in the community during the day. So unless you call us that morning and say, hey, my kid left his lunchbox, and you bring his lunchbox up there, there is no outside food. Unless they bring it in on their own, because the deal of, I went and grabbed McDonald's for my kid and I dropped it off the desk, you're not going to be allowed to do that this year. The question was asked about, I see kids out in public with the mask on and they're not wearing it properly. What will we do to stop that from happening in school? If they do not follow the safety rules, your kid will not stay at school. They will go home for the entirety of the 6 weeks and will not have the option to come back until the end. That is a disciplinary issue. If they refuse to do it, they cannot stay at school. If my kid is in band, does they have to come to face-to-face? Yes, they have to be face-to-face. Can we donate extra supplies like hand sanitizers and wipes? Yes, ma'am. We always take them. Guys, and I said that today, talking to our new teachers, because we started new teacher in service today. We understand right now that with the craziness in the world, it's hard to get into a barbershop. It's hard to get into a deal. I mean, we're not going to hammer your kids about dress code for the first few weeks. We're going to do some real strong reminders. But, our student services is still going to be there to help. If you need help with getting your kids school approved clothes, reach out to those people. They have coupons for haircuts too. So if they need help with that, or y'all need help with that with school supplies, clothing, any of those things to help them get back to school, reach out to that department if they're going to be there to help. Are elementary students allowed to bring backpacks? Backpacks are still going to be allowed. Will band, dance, drill team travel to out-of-town games? Unless we are told they can't, guys. We've already been told by one school we're playing because their county has banned it. We won't be able to bring our band, cheer, or trotters to that game. Is there a limit on how many students per class? We've covered that already. We're going to try to be as safe as possible and push them out, or they have to wear their PPEs all day long in there. Okay. So if kids are required to wear a mask all day and then go to athletics volleyball and not wear the mask, defeats the purpose of those who are very vigilant about wearing a mask. I have already addressed they have to wear a mask. I know our coaches are harping on them right now. I've been to all of our athletic practices and band practices. When they are not 6 feet apart, they are pulling the mask up. When their helmet face shield is not covering, they have to wear their gaiter. Which part of the dress code has been changed or tweaked? We added the portion about mask in the dress code, and then we added the thing about boys' hair code. And the thing we added about Boys Hair Code is it was saying something about to hide the true length. You couldn't pin or do whatever your hair. We've ever since I've been here, we've allowed kids to braid their hair down. As long as the braids weren't outrageous or inappropriate for school and design or safety, we've allowed kids to braid their hair. Do you have any first year or new teachers need classroom supplies? Reach out to the campus offices. They can answer that better than I can on here. We had about 40 new teachers in service today. New teachers and new staff in our new employee in service. Student email, reach out to your campus office and they can tell you where the kid's email is or give you their email deal. And your kids should know their login is usually their first initial last name and then their student ID. You can go to the online registration. We have it on the front page of our website right now. If you click on, if you need to register a new student, go to cueroisd.org, and on the front page, it's on there. And Miss Holman reminded me she is still having her back to school kickoff. It will not be the same as normal, but it'll be a drive-through. And if you need school supplies on August 29th of this year, they will have it at the city park, the drive-through. We are posting the new dress code tomorrow, which it's not really new. Like I said, all I did was add everything from the Safe Start plan about masks. And then you will see if you scroll down to Boys Hair Code, the little bit of changes we made there. And guys, if you ask a partial question, I can't really answer it because I have multiple anonymous attendees on here, so I don't know which question is linked to the other one. Please ask in a full question format. Will out-of-town games also be offering the online ticket sales? I don't know. I was asked that question the other day on Facebook. I can't tell you what other places are doing. All I can tell you is what Cuero ISD is doing. Yes, kids can wear a face shield as long as it is a full face shield that covers below their chin and wraps around instead of a mask. But we're not, you can wear both if they want to wear both. But they have to wear either or. We still got about 15 minutes, guys. If you don't have any questions, you're welcome to log off, but I'm going to still sit here and answer any questions y'all have. Dress code question. They've never been allowed to wear Crocs and Toms or Sperry's. I think at the elementary campuses, those are a no-no, but secondary, yes. And it's because of the slip, trip, fall hazard of them. The question was asked about who is considered a participant as far as getting 2 tickets for each game. That is listed on our Facebook page. Participant would be the player, a trainer, band, cheerleader, trotter. We're guaranteeing y'all 2 tickets for football. We can't guarantee band, cheerleader, trotter 2 tickets for volleyball. We can guarantee the participants because the occupancy level is so much lower in the gym than it is in the stadium. Thank you for the thank you from the anonymous attendee. We're doing the best we can to try to make this as safe as we can, guys, and get our kids back here. My child is new to Cuero. Who will administer the email account and who is their counselor? It depends on the campus they're on. At high school, we have 3 different counselors. At every other campus, we have 1. So reach out to whatever campus that is. And once they get them in the system, they'll offer it. There is a list of high school electives listed in the student handbook. And if you can't find that, reach out to the counselors. Yes, we will still have recess, and we're going to try to keep them as safe as we can. We're going to utilize inside and outside areas and keep classes separated as much as possible. What is the official first day of school, and does that apply to online kids? First day of school is the same. We haven't changed it. It is August 17th. Hopefully, we won't have to change it again. As you know, we've changed it twice. How are the kids with medical condition where the doctor prescribes do not wear a mask handled, identified, so the student doesn't have to deal with it daily? If you have a doctor's note saying your child has a medical condition that they cannot wear a mask, but it's still safe for them to come to school, we cannot not let your child come to school. But you have to get a note that says, my child has a medical condition where they cannot wear a mask, but it's still safe for them to attend school. For those classes that have labs such as chemistry and they're attending class online, how will those labs be handled? They will be able to observe the lab, but of course, they can't handle some of the online stuff. They will be given an alternative assignment in some of those things. They'll be able to observe a lab, but they won't be able to do it. What is considered, the question is, what is a temperature that is considered a fever for school? Is it above 104? That's listed in our plan. Guys, here's the thing with the self-screening aspect is every day we have kids who come up here who their parent has to go to work. And so they give that kid a shot of Tylenol and send them to school. And then we don't see a fever spike till after lunchtime. And so we're asking parents to protect the other kids and self-screen your kid. But even if we did screening in the morning, when that happens, we don't know because the kid's going to read fine because they have a fever reducing medication. So we are going to keep monitoring during the day. We're going to monitor them closely during the day. We have some extra thermometers to where if a teacher is in question or they see a kid looking kind of peaked, they can do it right there in the classroom and then send them down to the nurse. When and where are football tickets available for parents and football player? Hadn't quite got them out yet, but they will be soon. We'll have a link posted. And for you to get on there, you'll have to just have your kid's student ID number will be your confirmation number. So no one can steal your kids and say, oh, I'm Joe Smith's mom and dad, so I'm getting Joe Smith's ticket. It'll be by Joe Smith's school ID number. For employees, it'll be by their employee number. Once again, guys, this is for y'all. I mean, please don't hesitate in asking a question. And if you have a question you don't want to ask, as you know, my email's out there. I have office hours. M.Dyer, M-D-Y-E-R at Cuero ISD. If you have a question that you don't want me to answer out loud on here, that you want to ask me personally, send me an email. You know, just about anybody who's ever talked to me, I'm an open, honest guy, and I'll tell you what I can and what I can't tell you. So thank you for the thank yous from the people asking questions out there. Do you have to register your child if they're a returning Cuero ISD student? No. If your kid is an established transfer student, you do have to turn in that transfer form though. So we know if your kid's coming back or not. As you know, we're not taking new transfers this year to help limit our number. But if your kid is established transfer, whenever they send that paper to your house, please get it sent back in so we know, so we can have them in the count. And yes, if your child was registered, they did roll forward in our monitoring system or our operating system, excuse me. Will normal first day paperwork be done online? If you go to the link on our website that says registration, it's got a lot of that paperwork on there. Yeah, we're trying to do it all online and paperless as possible. And like I said, for some of y'all who are coming up here who want the 100% online and need devices or hotspots, if you go on our website, that plan's posted on there, plus a map of how you drive in and drive out. They're going to try to do that as contactless as possible for you to. They're going to hand you a paper, you read it, sign off, you agree. They'll verify that your child's a student here, and then they'll pass you out your stuff, and you can go, and it will be quick and painless. They're offering like 10 hours a day for 4 or 5 days for you to come up here and get your stuff. So it's from like 9 o'clock in the morning until 8 o'clock at night, with them taking an hour lunch break. My child is in school when I get a call to come get him. I have 2 young children. How do I get him to my car without leaving? We can walk them out to you. Just let us know. When we call you, say, hey, I'll call you when I get there, and we can walk your child out to you. I mean, we understand, guys. Trust me, we're going to get some curveballs thrown at us, but we're playing devil's advocate every day and getting new information every day of, hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? Hey, what about this? So, I mean, we understand nothing is going to be atypical in how we're doing this, but we're going to do the best we can, as you've heard me say about 10 times already, to keep our kids safe and keep our people safe. We're down to about 58 participants. If y'all don't have any more questions, guys, you're welcome to jump out. And like I said, those of you who know me know I'm always available. You can't sign out your kids over the phone. We'll still check, and that's for the safety of your kid. I mean, we'll have to verify who you are for the safety of your kid. Because like I said, we don't, trust me, we know there's all kinds of custody issues and different things. We're gonna verify that it's you before we let them go. With cases being so high in Texas and rising in our county, how does the regional hospital feel about returning to school face-to-face? Haven't heard anything from the hospital about concerns. I know we've got a partnership with the hospital to where if they need extra space, we've got space to provide them if they need overage. As of right now, our cases are actually leveling off, if not dropping. The only reason we got a spike in the county is when they did that big testing here the other day. Even if they weren't from Cuero, we got the hit on that. That's why our cases jumped so greatly the other day, because we had that testing site set up here, and we got like 280 positive tests out of that. And like I said, not all of them were for Cuero, DeWitt County. They just came here because it was an open site. Is it possible for high school teachers to post their class supply on their teacher webpage once schedules are released? Yes, that is a possibility. Or you can reach out to that teacher. No answers. All our teachers will be back to work, 100% of them next week. Will teachers still need to take their SAT, or students, I'm sorry. I'm getting a little cross-eyed here reading these small print. Will students still need to take their SAT or ACT? That's a personal decision. We're still going to offer those classes. We're still going to offer those tests if your child wants to take it. We'll still offer the ASVAB every year too. Once again, attendees, thank you for the questions. Like I said, I know there's a lot of questions. We've tried to answer as much as we can, but I got several questions on here tonight that I didn't have an answer for, or that I hadn't seen yet or come across. Because like I said, I know everybody's got lots of concerns with this. I mean, it's kind of like I said, my whole family comes to Cuero ISD every day. Yes, kids can bring their own water bottles. They have to be clear, and it can only be water in there. Clear or see-through, and can only be water in there. Will the recordings be posted of both meetings? Yes, they will. Water fountains will be available, and we'll also have cleaning stations at the water fountains. And when the lower kids go, we'll have cleaning. We're also going to keep some bottled water on campus too, because say your kid forgets a water bottle. Now, once again, we don't have the money to provide every kid and teacher a water bottle every day, but we will have some extras in the nurses station to where, hey, you're not comfortable with your kid drinking out of the water fountain, even though it's going to be monitored, going to be cleaned between every group that comes to that water fountain. If you're not comfortable with that or need, hey, just call and ask and say, hey, I'm sorry, I forgot my water bottle that day. Would you mind getting my kid a water bottle? We're going to try to do that. Or worst case scenario, we can give them a clean cup and give them a fill from the nurse's station. Oh, one open. Okay. Does it require for teachers, students, and staff to take COVID tests before they start school? If you read in our Strong Start plan, it is a self-screening process. And then if they do confirm a positive test, there is a list of things they have to jump through to be able to get to come back to school. We have had staff test positive this summer. All of them have been cleared though. There was a comment about cases spiked being due from testers out of town. Like I said, there were people coming from this area. I know it depends on the address they put down or not is where they confirm that case is from. I'm not from the CDC. I know we had people from here going to Victoria and it didn't change our case count, and we had people from Victoria coming here. I can't tell you how they traced that thing down. I know we had 500 tests here, and I think it was around 280 positives that came in from that. If you go to the Cuero ISD, the question was, when will schedules be passed out? Go to the Cuero ISD website, it's on there. Yeah, as far as contact tracing and those things, that's why we're leaning heavily on the health department, guys. I'm not that kind of doctor. I'm an academic doctor. I'm not a medical doctor. Like I said, our plan has been seen by multiple doctors, and our plan is under review currently by the health department, and they will make recommendations, and we will follow the recommendations they make for us to safely start. I've had doctors review our plan, and they don't have any reservations this time. But like I said, I'm still waiting for the Victoria Health Department to review our plan and make recommendations, and we will make those changes as we need to stay as safe as possible. So, okay, guys, we're closing out this session. Please don't jump on the next session so we can get as many attendees. We didn't have as many on here, so if there are some more questions you need to ask, you can try to get on, but if you don't need to, don't get on the next session. Like I said, be sure to read anything we put out there, because that's going to answer, it actually answered most of the questions I got tonight. I know the athletic department and the band has already put out some stuff about their Safe Start guide when they've met with teachers and parents. So please access those as well. As always, I'm here to serve. If I can help you or make you feel more safe about this or answer any questions, I'm always available. God bless. Take care. Go Mean Green.